Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. In this video, we'll be discussing appropriate and inappropriate self-disclosure. Now you're thinking, what is self-disclosure? Well, let me give you the definition. Self-disclosure is the process of deliberately revealing information about oneself that is significant and would not normally be known by others. In our first video, we're joined by Bobby and Mark. In it, they'll demonstrate appropriate self-disclosure. Let's take a look.
Good morning, Bobby. How are you?
Well, Mark, I've been feeling quite overwhelmed with my workload recently. The deadlines keep piling up and it's taking a toll on my stress levels.
So it seems that Bobby is going through a lot at work, stressing him out. He's got a lot on his plate. He doesn't really know what to do. Let's see how Mark reacts.
I can totally relate. I went through a similar phase last year. I feel like prioritizing tasks and asking for help when needed are really important. I feel like we can work together, to manage our workload a little more efficiently.
Yeah, that would be great. I really appreciate your understanding and I feel like sharing this video has really helped lighten the burden a bit.
So Bobby has opened up about feeling overwhelmed with his workload and the impact that it has on his stress levels. And Mark has responded empathetically, expressing his own experience with a similar situation and offering support, for which Bobby is very appreciative.
You know what? I found that taking some short breaks throughout the day can help provide some relief. Also, incorporating some mindfulness exercises and some like stretching routine throughout the day can also provide some relief.
Yeah, that's definitely a great suggestion. I'll give it a try. It's reassuring to know that I'm not alone in this and that we can all support each other.
Mark's additional recommendations demonstrate his commitment to helping Bobby find effective coping strategies. By sharing personal experiences and practical tips, Mark not only validates Bobby's feelings, but also provides actionable steps for alleviating stress. Bobby appreciates the reassurance that he's not alone in his struggles and feels encouraged by the mutual support they offer each other.
Absolutely, my friend. We're in this together. Remember, it's always okay to ask for support. And actually leaning on each other and working with each other is what makes us a team.
Yeah, I realized I've always hesitated to reach out for support in the past because I didn't want to be a burden to anyone, but now I realize that knowing your limits and seeking help is not a weakness, it's a strength.
Bobby's realization demonstrates personal growth and a shift in mindset, indicating his growing awareness of the importance of self-care and seeking help when necessary. This conversation underscores the significance of creating a culture where individuals feel comfortable and empowered to ask for support, fostering a strong and resilient team dynamic.
That's a valuable insight. We all have our limits, but it's actually very important to acknowledge them to maintain our own sense of well being. I'm always here to lend a helping hand and to be able to support you.
Well, thank you for your guidance and for your willingness to listen. It means a lot to me. I'm glad to have you both as a colleague and as a friend.
Bobby expresses gratitude for Mark's offer to listen and provide guidance, emphasizing the value of their collegial and friendly relationship. This exchange highlights the trust and camaraderie between them, where they can openly discuss their challenges and rely on each other for support. The willingness of both Bobby and Mark to support each other demonstrates the importance of cultivating a supportive and empathetic work environment. Their conversation exemplifies the power of appropriate self-disclosure in fostering connection and creating a sense of belonging within the workplace.
That's fantastic to hear. Together, we can work towards creating a culture of empathy, support, and understanding. We can make it our mission to make it easier for everyone else to voice their opinions and to create a safe working environment for everyone.
Definitely, yes, let's spread the word and make a positive impact. Again, thank you for your guidance and for your understanding. Now I feel motivated and that I know we can take on any challenge that comes our way.
You're more than welcome. It's actually a pleasure to be here for you, and I feel like we can create a successful platform with everyone's motivations and self care embedded into their future.
Absolutely.
As they part ways, let's reflect on the transformative power of appropriate self-disclosure and the ripple effect it can have in fostering a nurturing work environment. The shared understanding, support, and motivation between Bobby and Mark lay the foundation for a workplace where everyone feels valued, heard, and empowered. With their united efforts and unwavering dedication to promoting a culture of empathy and support, Bobby and Mark are poised to make a lasting difference. I am confident that their shared mission will create a workplace where individuals can thrive both personally and professionally. Now that we've seen an example of appropriate self disclosure, why don't we take a look at some inappropriate self disclosure? We're joined once again by Mark and Bobby.
Bobby, I just can't stand Susan. She's so annoying and constantly makes mistakes. I can't even believe she's still employed here.
Okay, Mark, I understand that you might have some concerns about Susan's activities, but we need to maintain a professional environment during our meetings. Let's focus on discussing the agenda and finding constructive ways to address the issue as a team. If you have any concerns with Susan's performance, we need to go through the proper channels and go through either HR or the supervisor. They can provide guidance on how to effectively handle the situation.
You know what? I don't even care anymore. Susan is a bad colleague, and I'm tired of pretending otherwise. I am not even going to sugarcoat it, and I'm going to let everyone know how I feel.
I understand that you're frustrated, but criticizing a colleague is not the way to go about it. It will only create more negativity in the workplace. I urge you to reconsider and go through the proper channels.
No, I've had enough. I've spent too long bottling up my feelings, and everyone needs to know how incompetent she is and how much she disrupts our work environment.
I strongly advise against doing that. Engaging in public criticism can damage your professional reputation as well. I urge you to take this privately.
Bobby, I don't care about my reputation anymore. Not after all that she's done and how much she's disrupting. I'll take the chaos over whatever this is.
Causing chaos won't solve the problem. You need to approach this calmly and rationally. If you approach the HR or supervisor, they can definitely show you a better and a more appropriate resolution.
It's too late for that. I've made up my mind. I'm going to publicly expose her no matter what the consequences are.
As we see in this video, Bobby expresses strong negative feelings toward his colleague Susan to Mark, venting about her perceived mistakes and annoyance. Mark responds by emphasizing the importance of maintaining a professional environment and suggests addressing any concerns through the appropriate channels, like speaking with a supervisor or HR. However, Bobby disregards Mark's advice and insists on publicly criticizing Susan, stating that he no longer cares about the consequences and wants everyone to know his opinion. Mark continues to discourage this approach, highlighting the potential damage to Bobby's professional reputation and the creation of a hostile work environment. Despite Mark's efforts, Bobby remains steadfast in his decision to publicly expose Susan's incompetence. This illustrates inappropriate self-disclosure as Bobby openly expresses his frustrations and intends to publicly criticize his colleague. Mark tries to guide him towards more constructive and professional ways of addressing the issue, but Bobby's determination to expose Susan's perceived incompetence overrides any concerns for the consequences. This highlights the potential negative impact of inappropriate self-disclosure, such as damaging professional relationships, fostering a toxic work environment, and tarnishing one's own reputation.
Good morning, Bobby. How are you?
Well, Mark, I'm quite overwhelmed. The deadline. What the fuck, man? You can.
Good morning, Bobby. How are you?
Isn't it Mark?
Good morning, Bobby. How are you?
Well, Mark, I've been feeling quite overwhelmed with my deadlines recently.
You know, I also found that taking breaks, short breaks, is really important. You know, I found that.
I didn't do anything.
You know, I found. Don't look at me. As soon as he looks at me, I can't. You know, I found that
We need to redo it.
that's your phone.